Even if your only knowledge of the Glaive was of its foreboding profile, you'd know that this is a ship that you need to be careful of. And learning of huge, powerful plasma cannons helps to reinforce that perception. But how does the Glaive actually perform in-game? I'm Forrester, and in this video we'll explore the answer to that question by reviewing the currently flyable Esperia Glaive, which is described as a medium fighter. If you've seen other reviews on this channel, then you probably know what to expect, with this video following the usual format. It's split into 5 sections, starting with a ship tour, assessing combat performance, reviewing handling and visibility, looking at the operating costs, before finally summarising. As always, I've included timestamps in the video description in case you want to skip ahead. And if you're one of the many people watching who isn't yet subscribed to the channel, you might consider it, so you can be notified of future Star Citizen videos as they go live. And some of you might note that 2 years ago there was already a review of the Glaive. This video will update that for the current patch, as well as give you some 4K cinematic footage. We'll start the tour by approaching from the left or port side of the Glaive. She's not the biggest fighter, and you'll immediately be drawn to that front canopy where you enter into the cockpit. This is a very unusual mechanism, at least for a human, where you lie down prone on your belly and it takes you up into the ship itself in that position. From here, you've got access to the cockpit. The Glaive comes armed with a primary weapon of 2 size 5 Roth cannons and 2 size 1 weak cannons. Yes, they're actually called weak cannons. None of those weapons can be swapped out, and they're all fixed hardpoints, so no gimbals on this ship. The size 5 cannons are where the big damage is at on the Glaive, but only carry 6 shots in the capacitor. In fact, it's probably worth accidentally on purpose damaging the weak cannons, as once they're out of the equation, you get more shots in your Roth cannons. The Glaive further carries 8 size 2 missiles, which give a little more punching power. Whilst the missiles can be swapped out for other size 2 options, the launchers are fixed. And finally, there is the slightly impractical but fun idea of the ramming blade to cut through enemy ships. Defensively, the Glaive carries 2 size 1 shield generators, which is fairly standard for fighters at this size, and the military grade shields as standard is a plus. Overall, the Glaive performs well in combat. The high alpha but low ammunition cannons means you need to be fairly careful about placing your shots, but if you do that, the damage should keep pace with other medium fighters like a Gladius. It also makes the Glaive an effective choice against some larger, less manoeuvrable ships. But the Glaive is also less manoeuvrable than other medium fighters, so is best summarised as a slightly sluggish but high alpha cannon platform. The pilot's seating position in the Glaive is unusual to say the least, as originally this was a ship designed to be flown by the Vanduul, but it actually works okay for a human pilot, as generally you can see all around. That said, it can be quite difficult to naturally see the MFD displays, as the lower displays drift from view. Moreover, the UI is themed red, which on the one hand gives the Glaive the feeling of an alien ship, but on the other hand is very unhelpful, when red is a common UI theme for other ships, distinguishing enemy and friendly targets, or explaining what quantum jump points you can and can't go to. In terms of handling, the Glaive does okay. The translation and rotation speeds aren't quite so responsive as other medium fighters, but the engines at the back are sufficiently powerful to give a good amount of thrust. The top speed of the Glaive is 1,225 meters per second, which is comparable to other medium fighters and makes it possible to chase down many a larger ship. The stock quantum drive is the Beacon, which is actually a fast option. The challenge is that the fuel stores in the Glaive are limited, with insufficient quantum fuel to travel regular trips, like Crusader to Hurston, without stopping to refuel. It's one of those sad instances where faster is not necessarily better. Thankfully, the Glaive is cheap to rearm and repair, with servicing costs usually in the hundreds or low thousands of Alpha UEC. That's substantially less than what the Glaive can make through completing a variety of combat missions in-game. But those combat missions are largely the only money-making option available for the Glaive, which has no physicalized storage space and no room for passengers or cargo. Thankfully, combat missions are something that the Glaive can do well, especially against the NPC enemies where the larger cannons often have a brutal impact. In terms of changing loadout, my only recommendation would be to downgrade the Quantum Drive to a Zephyr to help span the gap between popular travel routes. There are a lot of cool things about the Glaive. The landing mechanic is one where the wings fold, meaning it can fit into tight spaces. The headlamps at the front shine bright red, and you'll enjoy aesthetics that single your ship out as distinctly different from all of the other offerings. The firepower that comes out from those cannons is considerable, and it's a rare sight in game. And in part that's due to the fact that it's not available for purchase in-game and is only extremely rarely available for out-of-game at a price of $350. And therein lies the problem. It's incredibly expensive for what you get, at more than 3 times the price of the Gladius. There's a rarity tax, an alien tax, whatever you want to call it attached to that, but the truth is that's the same as the original price for the Banu Merchantman, or a Hull D, or any of the Constellation variants. There are much better value for money options out there, so even if the Glaive does go up for sale, it's probably not worth it at that price other than for collectors. But do you agree? I'll be interested to read your thoughts in the comments. Once again, if you're not yet subscribed, you really might consider it if you got this far, as I have a few more Star Citizen ship reviews you can expect over the coming months. And it would also be really helpful if you press that like or dislike button to guide me as to what videos you're enjoying the most so I can tailor them to you. Otherwise, and as always, thank you for watching.